When a vivacious extrovert married a thoughtful introvert, the stage was set for greatness. Captain Krishna Nair and his wife, Mrs. Leela Nair, embodied the timeless words of Robert Browning, but a man's reach should exceed his grasp, or what's a heaven for? Together they brought to life a vision that reshaped India's luxury hotel landscape. Enter the Leela Palace, a masterpiece that fuses regal grandeur with modern luxury, drawing inspiration from India's rich heritage. Passion drives any enterprise, but Captain Nair's audacious spirit was in a league of its own. While India is no stranger to rags to riches tales, the captain's journey redefined the meaning of luxury, sparking dreams as expansive as his own. What's remarkable is how the many hats he wore. The military man, the textile entrepreneur, the hotel empire creator. Every role shaped his path to ultimate success. In today's video, we'll unravel the inspiring journey of Captain Krishna Nair that lit the fuse for the Leela Palace, where Atithi Devo Bhava isn't just a phrase, but a lived philosophy. Born in 1922 in a small village in Kannur, Kerala, C.P. Krishnan Nair was the fifth of the 9 children hailing from a modest background. His father was a government bill collector, earning a monthly income of 9 rupees. Financial struggles shaped much of his early life, but his real wealth lay in the village library, where he spent countless hours devouring books. It was here that he discovered the teachings of Swami Vivekananda and Ramakrishna Paramhans. Deeply inspired by their philosophies, particularly that of Vedants, young Nair embraced a more spiritual path, moving away from idol worship and grounding his beliefs in self-realization and service. Krishnan Nair's education journey was made possible by the generosity of the Chirakkal Raja, who saw potential in the young boy. This royal patronage funded his primary education, nurturing his curiosity and hunger for education. At just 13, Krishnan Nair contributed as a young participant in the freedom struggle. His leadership qualities began to shine as he became the first secretary of his school's student union. His passion for India's independence drew him to a rally against British rule, where he faced brutal retaliation. Arrested and kicked by authorities, Nair and his fellow students were eventually released due to their young age. This early experience of resistance and resilience laid the foundation for his fearless spirit. When it came time for college, the same Raja, despite facing financial hardships himself, gifted young Kochu Krishnan a diamond ring. Kochu Krishnan was a name given to the little captain by his loved ones. Nair cashed this ring given by the Chirakkal Raja in Madras and used the 4,500 rupees amount to cover his entire college education. He graduated from the prestigious Madras Government Arts College, carrying with him not just an education, but also the determination to carve his own path. This royal scholarship, sponsored by a diamond for a dream, was a primary ladder that winged the captain's vision. In 1942, Krishnan Nair secured a job as a civilian wireless officer with his first posting in Aptabad, now in Pakistan. The journey from Madras to the northwest frontier province was grueling, involving multiple trains and long hours of travel. During one such commutes, Nair found himself hungry and penniless. A kind co-passenger, Karunakaran Nair, noticed his plight and offered him both lunch and dinner. Before parting at Peshawar, Karunakaran handed him 10 rupees, saying, "This will help you complete the journey." When Nair asked for his address to repay the money, Karunakaran replied with a life-changing lesson. "You don't need to send it back to me. Instead, whenever you meet someone in need, help them as I've helped you today." Though they never crossed paths again, this act of generosity profoundly shaped Nair's outlook, becoming a cornerstone of the values he upheld throughout his life. Captain's life was enriched by many such groundbreaking encounters with some of the greatest figures of his time as well. While he never interacted with Subhash Chandra Bose personally, he was deeply inspired by Netaji's fiery speeches on the Azad Hind radio, which he avidly listened to as a young wireless officer in Aptabad. In contrast, his interactions with other icons were more direct. He crossed paths with Gandhiji, Jawaharlal Nehru, the frontier Gandhi, that is Abdul Ghaffar Khan, while also forming a closer bond with Uncle VP, a name he fondly referred to for VP Menon. He even had the privilege of meeting Lal Bahadur Shastri. Yet, it was Netaji's charisma and vision that left an indelible mark on the captain, fueling his sense of purpose and inspiring his own leadership journey. The Indian Army uniform was Krishna Nair's dream, and the fascination with the military began during his time in Ahmedabad, where he often admired army officers in their pristine uniforms. However, his heart was set on serving in the Indian Army only and not the British one. Every weekend he would ride a white horse to the military academy near the Afghanistan border to watch soldiers parade, a sight that further fueled his aspirations. After India gained independence, Nair realized his dream by joining the Maratha Light Infantry. Serving with distinction, he rose to the rank of captain, and from then on he was simply called the Captain. His military journey that commenced in 1942 came to a fulfilled cessation in 1951 when he chose voluntary retirement to explore yet another way to give back to the society. This would later mark the beginning of his journey towards creating his entrepreneurial legacy. Somewhere at the age of 20 or 21, Krishna Nair also underwent a spiritual detour when he decided to navigate towards his spiritual calling. He traveled to Rishikesh to meet Swami Sivanand, seeking spiritual guidance, but after only a couple of months, the Swami advised him to venture into the world and fulfill his duties, urging him to embrace the path of a karma yogi. A karma yogi is a person who works as worship. During this time, Nair also got in touch with Balkrishna Menon in Ahmedabad and formed a lasting friendship with him. Balkrishna Menon was none other than the renowned spiritual leader in India, Swami Chinmayananda. The captain tied the knot with Leela Nair, the daughter of industrialist A.K. Nair, in 1950. So what role did Leela Nair play in shaping his journey? To put in simple words, extremely pivotal. This resolute woman was his muse and mastermind behind nearly every career shift he made, except for his time in the army, of course. It was Leela who persuaded him to leave the military, encouraging him that he shouldn't spend his life saluting all and sundry, but rather focus on contributing to society, particularly through the handloom industry. When Leela set her mind to something, Captain Nair found a way to make it happen. That was their chemistry. Despite their stark differences, where she was reserved and introspective, while he was the flamboyant extrovert, they were true soulmates. Together, they formed an unshakable partnership that was more than just a marriage. It was a shared vision of love, success, and service. Another fundamental breakthrough in Captain's life happened when he ventured into the handloom industry. It all began at his wife's suggestion, as I told you, and father-in-law's invitation to lead his thriving business of Rajeshwari Mills, which had 2,000 looms at the time. Nair was asked to take charge of 1 mill in Mumbai, but his vision was to transform the handloom industry into a nationwide phenomenon and elevate the lives of millions of weavers. To set into motion, Nair launched India's first producers and consumers cooperative society, aiming to bridge the gap between artisans and markets. But this was only the beginning of his dreams to create a handloom board that would institutionalize support for the industry. Backed by none other than Lal Bahadur Shastri, Nair secured a meeting with then Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru to share his idea. When Captain painted a vision of modernized textiles and industrial growth, his words resonated, and Nehru not only approved the creation of India's first handloom board, but also agreed to another groundbreaking move, a 1 paisa cess on mill-made materials. This minuscule on-paper amount generated a staggering 300 crores annually, becoming a lifeline for the handloom sector, as envisioned by the captain and backed by another visionary, Mr. Nehru. This way, India's first All India Handicrafts Board came into existence, featuring luminaries like Pupul Jaikar and Kamla Devi Chattopadhyay, who were also the contributors to lay the foundation for a historic handloom industry in India. Let us now tell you about the inception of Leela Scottish Lace. With connections like VP Menon, the captain struck an essential agreement with Lawrence Mitchell, the managing director of a Scottish lace firm, Johnston Shields & Co. This partnership marked the genesis of Leela Scottish Lace, giving India a gateway to the international market. By 1972, Leela Scottish Limited had blossomed into India's largest garment factory, known for bleeding Madras fabric. Bleeding Madras is a hand-spun yarn woven in India that gained global popularity for its bleeding patterns that soften and evolve with each wash. This unique fabric became a fashion sensation and a rage in the United States, blending traditional craftsmanship with modern appeal. Leela Scottish also introduced many other handlooms such as cheesecloth and gauze fabric to overseas markets, especially in the USA. Founding India's first large-scale garment factory in Mumbai, Nair thus tapped international boundaries with time, earning him many accolades, including the country's largest exporter of ready-made garments. Frequent business trips to Europe and the US exposed the captain to legendary hotels like the Adlon Kempinski and Waldorf Astoria. These weren't just accommodations, they were experiences of unmatched luxury, stay and service. Nair often wondered, why doesn't India have such hotels? Years later, seeing the factory's location near the airport, his wife Leela Nair suggested turning the land into a luxury hotel. Her vision was to build a haven for weary travelers and business professionals. But the captain was hesitant, as he was already 65 by this time. Leela Nair said to him, "It's never too late for a new beginning," and her words resonated. Despite skepticism, Nair was inspired by his wife's words and he took the plunge. In 1986, Hotel Leela, in partnership with Kempinski, made its debut in India. It wasn't just a hotel, it was a magnum opus. The first of many, it seamlessly merged modern luxury with India's royal heritage. From India's only cliff-top resort in Kovalam to the regal landscapes of Udaipur, the bustling corridors of Gurugram and a tapestry of historical influences blended with all modern luxuries in Chennai, the Leela Palaces today operates 12 hotels in India. Each property bears the hallmark of India's rich heritage, reflected in its motto, Atithi Devo Bhava. Now, what socio-psychological lessons are interwoven in the captain's journey here? Captain Nair's journey isn't just a story of success, but a testament to human behavior and social dynamics, revealing profound lessons from psychology and sociology along the way. Take, for instance, his encounter with Karunakaran Nair, the stranger who offered him a meal and 10 rupees on a long journey. This kind act embodied the reciprocity norm, a social psychology concept where kindness creates a ripple effect, encouraging others to take it forward. It's no wonder that Captain Nair adopted this ethos of making generosity a cornerstone of his leadership. Then there's the remarkable role of Leela Nair, whose quiet resolve and thoughtful guidance were central to every major pivot in Captain Nair's life. Her influence is a perfect illustration of social role theory, which shows how societal and interpersonal expectations guide behavior. In their case, her belief in his potential became the backbone of their shared success. Even Captain Nair's ability to convince Jawaharlal Nehru to establish a handloom board exemplifies transformational leadership. By articulating a vision of modernized textiles and weaving it with Nehru's goals for industrial growth, he didn't just lead, he inspired. And perhaps most striking of all was Captain Nair's decision to enter the luxury hospitality industry at 65. This wasn't just audacious. It reflected an internal locus of control, which is the belief that one's destiny lies in their own hands. Against all odds, he proved that age is no barrier when determination is a driving force. In every chapter of his life, Captain Nair demonstrated not only resilience and ambition, but also a deep understanding of human nature, making his legacy as much about socio-psychology as it is about his legacy of luxury. But building an empire wasn't easy. The Leela's journey was fraught with challenges, economic downturns, complex land acquisitions, and even nature's unpredictability. Each hotel's inception is a tale of grit, strategy, and unyielding resolve. If you guys like this video and want to know how the captain reigned his throne amidst all the external and internal chaos, and what standout concepts were incepted by this entrepreneur to ace the race in this industry, we'll try to uncover that for you in the following videos. Until then, off you pop. Stay curious, stay inspired, and keep exploring.